it. Let's be honest with that. We know Mike Ashley don't want to get relegated because guess what? The value of the club goes down and everything else goes with it. They're not signing players when they're staying in the Premier League, Ed.
But they have some good players. I actually think...
even the bench was decent at the weekend.
The best 11, I think should be competitive. So 12th, 13th, I don't think the Newcastle fans are expecting to be top of the table, even though they were challenging for the title under Kevin Keegan. They want an owner who's going to invest properly to make them that title contending team
Understand
again.
that totally.
Totally agree with that.
Totally agree.
But from a manager under Mike Ashley, they want somebody who is going to get more out of the players they've got. Now, you said just a moment ago Steve Bruce is there at the coalface. Well, he wasn't. He went on holiday to Portugal. Now, in the midst of a bad start to the season...
First-team players weren't there, though, were they?
Well, some of them weren't, but some of them were. Longstaff was there. He played. You know, there's some... Lascelles wasn't away on international duty. You know, there's a number of players who were still there. So the Newcastle coaches were there. Is it a good look for him to go away on holiday this early in the season when they haven't won yet?
No, it's not ideal.
It's not a good look.
It's not ideal, and it got out, didn't it? And it doesn't look good for him, especially when they get battered 4-1.
What I'd say is it may just be that he needed that space for his own well-being to go away and clear his head. And he's come back, and the first game back, he faces Ronaldo. Anybody's going to lose. You know, there's a chance you're going to get done by Ronaldo, and he got done by Ronaldo. I would have a look at the way they played and think to myself, I would think the manager and the coaches could do a little bit more. But it's not a good look. That's all I'm saying. And I think that has not gone down well with a fan base that needs persuading. He's the man. He needs to win them over.
Yeah. I agree with that. And... Holiday. There's not many people had holidays of late. Steve Bruce has had one.
That's why we're playing it. I gotcha. We'll hear that press conference in just a second. Back to Newcastle. Andy says Bruce should resign because he's obviously out of his depth. He's won 23 league games out of 80, not acceptable at any level. Geordie Boy says none of Newcastle's starting 11 were away on international duty. And Jordan says what manager goes on holiday mid-season, plays players out of position, questions why we play badly. We play at home and play like an away team. He gets nothing out of the team. That's my big problem with Steve Bruce. I really want him to work, but I think for it to work, he's got to change.
Do managers not go away? I think you might find, I think this has got out purely because Newcastle and the nightmare they're having. I do believe managers do go away for 4 days here and there. Because if he's giving the players off 4 days, he's got 4 days. He can do what he wants in those 4 days. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. If they all get 4 days off, he can do what he wants. He can fly to Dubai if he wants for 4 days.
But that's the point. I think, from what I understand, they were all in working with the coaches, and he was away in Portugal. As I understand it, if I'm wrong about that, then please somebody put me right. But Steve Bruce, he was asked about the holiday after the defeat to Manchester United on Saturday. He was asked in the Zoom press conference afterwards by Lee Ryder from the Newcastle Chronicle whether it was good preparation to head to Portugal.
Well, I think I really have to answer that to you, Lee. That's what the fans are asking of it. We trained all week. We were in every day this week where preparation was meticulous, let me tell you. There's nothing more in preparation. What was they supposed to do? Well, 6 of them away. But preparation was fine. Absolutely fine. We've been in all week. You could see the game plan of what we worked to. To answer questions like that is typical of a question that I would get off you and your newspaper, if I'm being brutally honest.
So there's clearly a division between him and the local press, clearly a division between him and the fans. And listen, whether you like it or not, you know, the Newcastle Chronicle in Newcastle is huge. I mean, they've hit back and said that the fans aren't negative because of them. They're negative because of Ashley, first and foremost, and they're negative because Steve Bruce doesn't win games. Let's speak to Ben. Lewis, a Newcastle fan. What do you think, Lewis?
Hello, guys. You all right?
Yeah, all good. Good to have you on.
Yeah, so my main problem with Steve Bruce is him going on holiday so early on in the season. First of all, I've got nothing major against Steve Bruce. I will say that he's never been given a fair crack of the whip. Even before he walked through the door at St James's Park, he was written off. So I do feel for him in that respect. However, it's so early on in the season. Manchester United, the vast majority of their players are going away on international duty. And I know we're not going to catch up with Man United in 2 weeks, obviously. However, is that not a good, solid fortnight's extra preparation to try and stem the flow of bad form we've been in? Towards the end of the season, if there was an international break, say April time when we were safe, I know that's not the case, but fair enough, go on holiday. Perfect, you've done well. He's obviously under a lot of stress. But 3-4 games in, when it's not looking good, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I think when you've not had a great start to the season, Lewis, and you go away and you come back and you get battered, and I think that it's just not a good look. It may have been that he needed a break, and we don't know what's going on in his life, don't know what's going on in his mindset, all of that stuff that needs to be factored in, but we can't because we haven't got a clue about it. He looked, we heard the audio earlier, but he looked massively annoyed when the issue of a holiday affecting preparations for the game was brought up. But he must realise what people are going to deduce. They're going to put 2 and 2 together, aren't they? He's not a stupid man. He's an experienced man,
I think especially when